Hello again, guys. Today I thought we would take a look at this product that showed up in the mail. This is the Naztech Power Hub 7, which is sort of like a stand that allows you to charge as well as store 7 different devices. This is obviously compatible with both Apple and Android devices, and it's capable of a whopping 70 watts, 14 amps of power out at one time. So inside of the box, this is what you'll immediately see. A little bit of foam there. This should be the majority of the unit itself. It says Power Hub Pro, Naztech, max power 70 watt, 14 amp. There's your input and output. 5 volt 2 amp times 4, and 5 volt 1 amp times 3. So the ports are not all evenly distributed like I thought they were. And if we take a look at the ports themselves, starting left to right, you'll see 3 1 amp ports, and then on the right you've got 4 2.4 amp ports. So do keep that in mind. Here on this end you have your on off button as well as your power plug port. Little light to let you know if you've got power. The other end, a whole bunch of nothing. And then here's where all of the slots will go to be separators, dividers for your devices. Here's a specifications and user manual. Should have all the information you'll need, but we've probably covered a lot of that already. Included power cable, appears to be about 4 feet long. And then down here in the bottom of the box, you have all of these little dividers. And from what I can gather, I guess you would just sort of poke these down in here like this. There's a little slot, I don't know if you can see that down in there, but 2 little slots for them to kind of fit into. And there you have it. There is the fully assembled unit. Has your little Naztech branding there on the front. Don't know if you can really see that, it's just kind of raised into the plastic. And then you'll put your devices in each of the slots and put power cables in to actually connect them. And so far the only real problem I could see with this, one, is that it has those 1 amp ports, but that's not usually a big deal. But 2 is where the power cables are actually going to go. You'll obviously be providing these power cables because, as we saw, there's none in the box. But look at some of the cables on here. These are all very specific length cables. So just keep in mind, if you're going to be picking one of these up, you will have to provide up to 7 cables, depending on how many devices you want to put in it. And if they are longer cables, you're going to have to figure out what to do with all the excess. I do luckily have some short cables that I can use with this, so I'll give those a shot first. But let's go ahead and stick a few devices in here, power it up, and see how it works. Okay, so I've gone ahead and plugged in the Naztech device. We can hit this button here. You can see blue LED comes on. So the whole power hub should be ready to go. And I thought I'd bring over my little USB power meter and test this with a few devices just to see how it works. So let's give it a shot with the Nexus 5X and we'll see how it does, because I know the 5X is capable of drawing a lot of power. So yeah, this 1 amp port is actually putting out 2 amps right now. Seems to be fluctuating back and forth a bbit there, but while you're charging, obviously, you can just stick your device there in the slot. Again, just to make sure. Yeah, it's going up as high as about 1.8 or 2 amps. Now let's take it down to one of the actual 2.4 amp ports. And much in the same way, actually this is going even higher now. It says 2.45 amps. So actually the rating of 2.4, it's potentially a little bit higher than that it can actually put out. Now I know the one comment I will get on this is it's not exactly fair to test it with just one device and a 7-port thing. I don't have enough USB meters to put on all of them and test them all at the same time. Just saying what theoretically they are capable of maximum. Because while these do say that they're 1 amp ports, I would be willing to bet if you filled up all of the 2.4 amp ports, the 1 amp ports would probably lessen themselves to compensate. But now you can see the Nexus 5X is taking 1.3 amps from this port. It was taking about 2 from one of the other ones on this end. So let's just keep moving down and see. Yeah, with this one it's drawing right around 2 amps. And actually it just spiked up to about 2.5. Very interesting. So one way or another, this does look like it is a very capable little unit. And these things, the dividers, they're plastic, but they almost sound like glass. But they're definitely plastic. But they do have a little bit of give to them. They don't sit there firmly in the slots, so if you want you can lean something up against it and it'll kind of hold. And as you can see, it doesn't really matter which port you put it into, it is going to be able to draw a decent amount of power pretty much anywhere. And it does seem to be consistently able to draw 2 amps or a little bit more depending on whichever other port you put it in. And for a little bit of comparison from the other side of the fence, I brought my iPad Air, but the iPad Air does currently have 9% battery in it, so let's see how much this is able to pull. It says it's doing 1.5 amps right now. If I remember correctly, the iPad is supposed to be able to pull up to 2 amps, maybe even more, but it's sticking pretty firm around 1.4 amps. Let's try a different port. Maybe that port's just a little weird. No, and this port is right at 1.3 amps, 1.4. So maybe just the iPad doesn't want to pull more charge than that. But one way or another, we have been able to see that it works with several devices. We'll leave that charging and plug in the Nexus 5X. So now we can see that it is charging 2 devices at once, still pulling 1.4 amps on the iPad Air, and it is charging at least on the Nexus 5X. And actually, now that we've got something in one of the 2.4 amp ports, let's see if these 1 amp ports have dropped. No, it still shows 1.25, 1.3 amps. Anyway, don't want to spend too much time harping on the actual speeds this will be charging at. Just wanted to sort of show you guys this product, show you that it is available. And this Naztech PowerHub 7 is available on Amazon right now for about $71. So if you'd like to pick one up, you're definitely welcome to do so. I'll put a link to where you can find it down in the video description. Seems like a pretty decent way to charge up to 7 devices at once with storage placed for all of those devices. So this will probably have a good place on my desk for a while because I've been a little inundated with devices lately. But thanks so much to Naztech for sending this out to me for a review. Thanks to you guys for watching. Remember to hit that thumbs up button below the video if you like this video. Subscribe to receive more videos when they become available, and I'll see you again next time.